So, 16 Candles, right? Um, which, I've always heard was such a John Hughes classic and all. Like, you know, I don't know why some are considered classic. I don't even know honestly why some are like, okay, so the problem is that I might have watched too many of these and they're all, obviously this is from 84, so it might have been the progenitor and all. But, I don't know. Just yeah, I'm just saying it doesn't have quite a lot of variation. That makes sense. But not just that. Not just that. Um it I mean it's supposed to be a comedy, right? So what does it do in terms of comedy? Very little in my opinion. Like literally I think the funniest scenes were far, but I still barely laughed. I just mainly smile and all. But anyway, it was when he was the guy was phoning her house and her grandparents called up, but it wasn't really very funny, then they just told him not to phone anymore, so that per se isn't funny. Uh, so this is the problem. Like even Home Alone is funnier than this, I think, really. And I've watched The Breakfast Club before, years ago, though, so I cannot quite compare the details per se. I remember it being more interesting, more unique, I guess you could say. When it comes to 16 Candles, I don't know, I see very much. I don't know how many of these sort of movies there were in the past, at around that area. Obviously, there were a lot more after that. That's a problem, then. But, um, in terms of, I don't know, like, I've seen so-called Curly Sue as well at some point in the past, long ago as well. So, and I think I've liked it more, but clearly general audiences do not like it in comparison to how much they like 16 Candles here, based on the average rating. Personally, yeah, I think I like it. I like 16 Candles less. Not that I suppose they can be directly compared, but I'm talking in terms of comedy here, in terms of narrative. So in terms of like Breakfast Club and 16 Candles can possibly be compared, but they're still slightly different as well. One is about detention and such. The other is more of a um, I don't know, just I also liked my more Fiona days off. Yeah, that was interesting. Although also I watched it years ago, so I can't quite remember. I even like National Lampoon's Vacation more, but no, I think I like its Christmas version about as much as I like it. I mean, in other words, this is below mediocre, in my opinion. But what's worse is that there's these casual asshole behavior as well. Like it's one thing not to have much comedy, but you put in assholes as well. Even the protagonist is occasionally an asshole, not all the time or anything. But how am I supposed to like her if she's occasionally an asshole? On a couple of occasions so far, so not exactly, but many people are somehow assholes. Like even the guy who's trying to propose to her, he's an asshole sometimes. Not to her, obviously. He's just clumsy around her, but to his friends, though. Um, it's saying others that aren't do not reciprocate and everything physically and such. But I guess you could say it's a bit of a comedy when he was found underneath the piles of rubbish inside some sort of transparent table box thing. I have no idea what it is, but this is the problem. So there's these casual asshole behavior, though, and even the guy she has a crush on, at one point he even hints at raping Caroline, right? Calls it a violation. Does, says doesn't want to do it, but still, it's implied. And this is supposed to be a rom-com. How is that rom-com behavior? I mean, there's barely anyone who's likable here. I mean, sure, they're just random moments, but it's not like he has much more that is said anyway. So this is a random moment based out of maybe 5 minutes of speech so far by him. She obviously has more, so her couple of moments are sort of overcrowded by the rest.
But yeah, I am not sure why this is so popular. Maybe because it was like an originator possibly of this sort of genre. I noticed it has over 200 references. So and for some reason, this is the most bizarre thing. For some reason, only a quarter of these, around 50, are up to 2010 or so. Apparently, 3 quarters, around 150, I think, around that much, uh, uh, are references from the last 11 years. It's the most bizarre thing ever, for a movie that is, what, 35 years old? Yeah, most bizarre thing ever. And I don't get it. It's the most humdrum, the most just it's. I mean, I don't know if maybe there's just been loads like an industry full of these sort of movies. I don't know if John Hughes. I mean, people keep talking about him as if he is the originator, so he might as well be, indeed. But I don't know. Yeah, or maybe I made the mistake of watching Breakfast Club first, and even Ferris Bueller, which I've enjoyed much more. Though I've watched them long ago, many years ago, so I cannot quite tell why I enjoyed them. But I just remember liking them more generally. But no, with this, I really just didn't like. Really, I mean, barely had any. Pretty much the only funny scene is when the jockey, is that an adjective, jockey? Anyway, when he phones the grandparents, that's pretty much it. And for a comedy, for a comedic movie, you cannot just have a single scene, really. Like, there's nothing in the party. I mean, sure, if he gets stuck underneath whatever, a pyramid of glass or what. I just, it's not really. Though there's been lots of scenes in many other movies that are very similar as well. But there's nothing inherently funny in a party anyway. You know. And a wedding as well. Like I mean, I don't know if maybe weddings came so much. I hate weddings. They're not funny. I mean, alright, she got intoxicated. That's minimally funny, but not quite a lot. So I don't get it. This is for how famous it is, for how popular it is. This is bizarre. It's the most humdrum movie, really, and it's just idiotic almost. Maybe it was some sort of originator, but I certainly prefer Ferris Bueller and even Breakfast Club for some other reason. But you know, this though doesn't seem to do too much, at all. Really, it just seems to be just overhyped. Hype, I think, is the correct terminology here. it really doesn't make much sense. In this sense, as a rom com, it really fails. It's below average.